right, let's get started with section 8.3. We'll be talking about the slope-intercept form of a line. And with the slope-intercept form, what we're going to need is the slope of the line, which will most often, that be m, and then the intercept, which is the y-intercept of the line. And then we can write the equation of the line that looks like this. So we start out finding the slope. Now, slope is when we have something like a ramp or a road. The slope is how much from one point to the other, how much it will rise or vertical change, and sometimes that's a drop also if the road would go this way, okay, or the wheelchair ramp. So it's a rise or a drop, okay, vertical change, and then it's a run, okay. How much it horizontally changes. So if you take a look, and I'll just draw here real quick, if we had something that went this way, okay, we could say from here to here it goes down and then left. Or if another student looked at it and said, well, I looked at it goes up and then right. When we calculate the slope or count the slope, we're going to get the same value. So that's kind of what we're talking about with slope here, how much something vertically changes and horizontally changes. Okay. So to find the slope when we're given 2 points, what we can do is use this formula here, and it's just some subtraction and some organization here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do m is equal to, and then I'm going to subtract the y's, 9 minus 3. And I'm going to put that over -6 minus 2. And one of the most common mistakes with calculating slope is putting things in the wrong order. And then also some sign errors, doing the subtraction incorrect. But we got 9 minus 3 is 6. And then -6 minus -2 is -8. We've talked about in previous videos, it's probably best to put the negative in the top of the fraction, and we get -3/4. So what's the slope of -3/4 looks like? Well, if we had a point, a slope of -3/4 would go down 1, 2, 3, and then since this is positive, it would go right 1, 2, 3, 4. So a slope of -3/4 kind of looks like this, okay? But there's what we needed to calculate. All right. Looking at the next one, we might spot something that looks a little strange here. We have our x value here and our x value here, and both the x values are 7. If you would plot those points, you might realize it's a special type of line, but just say you're in the groove and you're using the formula, and you're like, okay, I'm going to subtract the y's, so I have 5 minus -5, and then I'm going to subtract the x's, and this is where it gets a little weird, okay? I subtract the x's, I got 7 minus 7, all right, and you've probably noticed what's going to happen here. I get 10 over 0. Now, what we should remember, or if you even try it on the calculator, you're going to get some error. And if you ask Siri, hey, what's 10 divided by 0? Something funny is said. Sometimes you could try that out on your phone if you have. You can ask Alexis too. But what we get is that the slope is undefined. Okay. When we try to divide by 0, it's undefined. Now, what's that slope look like? Well, if you think about where those points are, 7, 5 is up here somewhere, maybe a little higher, and then 7, -5 is down here, and we get that special type of line that's a vertical line, and we talked about vertical lines have a slope that's undefined. And again, something fishy happens with this one. If you look at the y values match here. So what we get is 10 minus 10 over 4 minus negative 6, and we get 0 over 10. A little different, okay? But the top number is 0, so this can actually be calculated 0 divided by 10, and we get the slope is equal to 0. And that's a horizontal line. Okay. Well, hopefully that gets you started with calculating slope. Remember to just get things in the correct order and be careful with your signs, and you should be able to find the slope when you're given 2 points.